Ferrari fans, brace yourselves, because what Fred Vasseur just said might be the most deflating moment of the 2025 season. In a move that's left both Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc visibly stunned, Ferrari's team principal stepped in, front of the cameras ahead of the Imola Grand Prix, and delivered a message no one expected. Don't expect too much, no bold upgrades, no sweeping changes, just a small step. This wasn't the rally cry of a team ready to fight for the championship. It was a quiet admission that Ferrari might already be falling behind. And if you're wondering why, two of the sport's top drivers are now questioning their team's direction, stay with us, because what's unraveling behind the scenes at Maranello could reshape Ferrari's entire future. The SF25, Ferrari's 2025 challenger, has been widely criticized for its narrow performance window and its erratic behavior in low-speed corners, braking zones, and traction exits, characteristics that were once Ferrari strongholds. The Miami Grand Prix laid these shortcomings bare as Leclerc and Hamilton finished in 7th and 8th place, respectively, trailing significantly behind competitors like McLaren and Red Bull. On paper, the results might seem acceptable, but beneath the surface lies a machine plagued with design inconsistencies and a setup that resists optimization. According to internal sources and race data, both cars lost critical time on corner exits and during slow-speed sequences, amplifying concerns about the car's inherent flaws. Drivers have reported significant rear-end instability and inconsistent tire behavior, contributing to an overall lack of trust in the car's performance envelope. The car's supposed potential is often cited, but that potential remains inaccessible under real-world race conditions, adding to the mounting frustration in the garage. As other teams continue to evolve week by week, Ferrari's failure to unlock performance from its current package paints a grim picture for its competitiveness heading deeper into the season. The frustration among Ferrari's star drivers is becoming increasingly palpable. Lewis Hamilton, who joined the Scuderia with dreams of revitalizing the team and chasing another world title, was vocal in Miami about his disappointment, especially after missing Q3 for the second time this season. His radio communications were laced with sarcasm and evident exasperation, and he didn't hold back post-race either, telling reporters that Ferrari had lost performance since China and acknowledging that while the pace exists on paper, the team simply cannot access it. Charles Leclerc echoed those sentiments with surgical precision, stating that his P8 qualifying position behind both Williams drivers represented the car's maximum potential, a brutal and honest admission. Leclerc's tone may have been measured, but his frustration was clear, signaling that the car, not the drivers or engineers, is the root cause of Ferrari's stagnation. The sense of being shackled by a fundamentally flawed machine is clearly wearing down both drivers, who joined forces in hopes of building a winning legacy, not languishing in the midfield. Leading up to Imola, expectations were sky-high that Ferrari would unleash a transformative upgrade package to address the car's litany of issues. Reports from within the Italian press spoke of significant aerodynamic updates, including reshaped side pods, a revised floor, and even potential suspension adjustments. These upgrades were heralded as the remedy Ferrari desperately needed to re-enter the title conversation, or at the very least challenge more consistently for podiums. Imola, being Ferrari's first home race of the season, was seen as the perfect venue to reassert dominance and reignite belief among the Tifosi. Instead, the reveal that only a minor step would be introduced has deflated morale and stirred widespread concern, both inside and outside the garage. For a team already trailing its primary rivals, the implication that a more robust upgrade package won't arrive until Barcelona or later is a strategic setback, and one that may have lasting consequences on the team's cohesion and competitiveness for the remainder of the season. Vasseur's downplayed outlook not only represents a technical letdown, but has delivered a significant psychological blow to both Hamilton and Leclerc, who had been led to believe that the team was poised for a breakthrough. Sources close to the team suggest that both drivers were blindsided by the lack of urgency and ambition in Vasseur's public comments, especially after internal assurances that Imola would mark a new chapter in Ferrari's fight to close the gap to McLaren and Mercedes. Instead, they now face the reality that the SF25 may not receive the foundational changes needed to unlock its potential anytime soon. Such messaging from leadership has ripple effects far beyond the press conferences. It seeps into the garage, into race simulations, into the psyche of every engineer and mechanic who looks to the team principal for direction and motivation. For Hamilton and Leclerc, two world-class athletes whose careers are defined by peak performance and relentless pursuit of victory, This perceived lack of urgency may ultimately sow seeds of doubt in their long-term commitment to Ferrari's project. Data from the Miami Grand Prix further underscored Ferrari's alarming lack of pace, with Hamilton's average lap time on medium tires nearly a full second slower than that of Oscar Piastri's McLaren. In Formula One terms, such a deficit isn't a gap, it's a chasm. Telemetry revealed consistent time loss in corner exits and traction zones, paired with ongoing issues of tire degradation and rear instability. Even braking, once a Ferrari strength, has become an area of concern due to the SF25's lack of precision and responsiveness. Vasseur's explanation, that it's a matter of putting everything together, comes across as vague and insufficient in a sport where top teams like Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes make aggressive and data-driven strides week in and week out. In this context, Ferrari's failure to present a clear development path or timely corrective measures feels increasingly untenable, especially to drivers already operating on the edge of patience. The mounting evidence suggests that Ferrari is being outdeveloped and outpaced, a dangerous position to be in this early in the championship fight. Internally, tension is building not just between drivers and leadership, but across the entire team structure. While Charles Leclerc attempted to maintain diplomacy in public, stating there are no bad feelings toward Hamilton despite recent intra-team radio drama, he has not shied away from expressing his disappointment with the car's performance. His comment that the SF25 has this potential and that's it goes beyond criticizing setups. It casts doubt on the very concept of the car's design. Hamilton, for his part, revealed he had to tell Vasseur to calm down during the post-race debrief and noted that he could have said worse things, but chose restraint. However, he made it clear that he came to Ferrari to fight for wins, not settle for 7th or 8th. These remarks reflect growing concern that Ferrari's leadership may be out of sync with the ambitions of its elite drivers. In an ultra-competitive sport like F1, leadership cohesion and belief in a shared vision are crucial. Ferrari's inability to instill that belief could prove to be a deeper wound than any aerodynamic inefficiency. Former Ferrari engineer Luigi Mazzola added fuel to the fire by publicly questioning Vasseur's leadership style, describing it as too passive and overly focused on potential rather than fixing clear present faults. Mazzola warned that the team might be searching for something that isn't there, hinting that Ferrari's current direction may be rooted in denial rather than diagnosis. These comments resonate with critics who argue that Ferrari is not reacting decisively enough to its mounting performance issues. In a season where innovation and rapid adaptation are key to staying competitive, Ferrari's methodical and conservative approach risks leaving them stranded in the midfield while rivals make bold moves forward. The lack of a clear technical identity and the hesitancy to make radical changes, despite persistent underperformance, raise questions about whether Ferrari's current leadership has the resolve to engineer a comeback. The tension between conservative management and competitive urgency is becoming a central theme in Ferrari's 2025 narrative. Ferrari now finds itself caught in a dangerous balancing act between high expectations and a car concept that appears fundamentally flawed. The gap between promise and performance is growing, and with each race that fails to yield improvement, the sense of disillusionment deepens. This is not merely a technical dilemma, it is a leadership crisis. Vasseur's call for patience might be rational in a long-term development context, but in the hyper-competitive, high-pressure world of F1, such patience can look like indecision. The drivers are losing faith, the engineers are scrambling for answers, and the fans, Ferrari's ever-passionate global base, are beginning to question whether the Scuderia still has what it takes to compete at the front. Imola, which was supposed to be a statement weekend, may instead be remembered as the moment when Ferrari's internal cracks became impossible to ignore. If the team cannot quickly identify and execute a coherent path forward, they risk more than just another failed title bid. They risk a breakdown in trust that could reverberate through the organization for years to come. As Ferrari prepares for upcoming races in Barcelona and beyond, the real issue facing the team is not simply whether upgrades will be delivered, but whether they can still inspire belief within their own garage and throughout the Formula One community. The pressure continues to mount from all directions: media scrutiny, fan expectations, championship standings, and, above all, from the two drivers whose careers hang in the balance. Every race weekend that passes without a decisive leap forward compounds the crisis. What once seemed like minor technical hiccups now feel like systemic failures, and without a tangible demonstration of progress, the narrative risks spiraling beyond Ferrari's control. The SF25 is more than just a car, it has become a symbol of Ferrari's internal struggle between cautious evolution and competitive aggression. The coming weeks will determine whether this iconic team can still lead not just in performance, but in philosophy. Because if they fail to deliver, it won't be just the championship that slips away. It will be the very foundation of belief that holds this historic team together.